Ole'Pops here. Just thought I'd stop in and say hello to the fine folks of the YTPC. Smoking my Carl Wally. With some Tennessee Sunset in it. And enjoying me a fine cup of coffee. Miss Jilly Darling's in yonder in the den, having her a nap. We just got back from her orthopedic doctor, some years ago, when she was still working. She took a bad spill at work. And it caused her some bad back problems, and she had several surgeries over it, and they ended up having to fuse some vertebrae in her back. She's had several surgeries thereafter, and she has to make regular trips to her orthopedic surgeon and to a pain clinic. Just part of our normal routine these days. It was on our agenda for today. We got there today. There was a lady and a man there. They looked like they was in their late 30s, maybe early 40s, and she had on a cast on her right leg. Went from her knee to her toes. It had all kinds of metal on the outside of it and had some pins running through it. But I kept on noticing her husband sitting there with her. I guess it was her husband, some man sitting there with her. But he kept making that poor woman get up. One time, of course now at the doctor's office, they got coffee there. They got a coffee maker. They got coffee. But he made that woman get up and get him some coffee, and she had that cast on her leg. But he made that woman get up and get her some coffee, or get him some coffee. Well, she got her some too, but of course now I got me and Jilly Darling some coffee. And twice he made that woman get up and get him a different magazine, twice. Finally, I said something to him about it. His answer was that God promised man that he would put obedient women on every corner of the earth. I told him, I said, and then God made the earth round. I bet God's still having a nice laugh about that. He didn't think it was very funny. I asked him, I said, is your family tree a cactus? Because if there any of them like you, everyone on it's a prick. He looked at me and he said, Mister, don't you underestimate me. I told him, I said, I underestimate you. That ought to be your wife's job. About that time, the nurse came and called him back, so it didn't go any further than that, thank God. I turned and looked at Jilly Darling. Sweetheart, she never met a stranger in her life. She was talking to another couple. they got to talking about what was wrong with each other, and she explaining to him what had happened to her, and they were talking about jobs that they'd had in their lives. And oh Lord, they got to asking me about jobs I had in my life, and I told them that at one time I was a waiter. Told them money wasn't great, but it put food on the table. Lord, Lord. Julie just told me, she said, I don't understand you. I told her, I said, sweetheart, you've been married to me for 33 years. It's about time you started. I tell you, they called Jill back, did the examination on her, and I sat out there talking with them folks. That man was telling me, he said the last job that he had, or the last job he went to interview for, he said they asked him why he left the previous job he had, and he said they relocated the company and never told him where. I told him, I said, man, I said, that's some hard luck. He said he made too many mistakes. His wife said, well, it only proves that you're trying. And I told her, I said, either that or it proves that he was incompetent. I thought to myself, I said, man, I said, won't you just be careful of your thoughts, because they could become your words at just any moment. I wonder sometimes why I don't take my own advice. Well, about that time, Jill come walking out, and she told me, she said, I stepped on the scales while I was back there, and she said, I've been saving some clothes that I found when I graduated high school. Some stuff that I wore back then. She said, and I'm finally going to get to wear some stuff that I graduated high school in. And I thought to myself, I said, gee, what? And she said, the prettiest little pair of gold hoop earrings you ever saw in your life. And it just cracked me right up. It just cracked me up. We left from there. But on our way home, had to stop and get gas. I want to know something. Do women shake the gas nozzle after filling the tank, or is that just a man thing? Anyway, we got to the house, and she went in yonder and took a nap. I went in there and looked in the fridge, and I guess this was Gracie's doings, but there was a saucer in there with a piece of chicken on it, fried chicken. There was a note laying on top of it that said, don't eat me. So I reached in there and grabbed it, pulled the meat off of the bone, made me a chicken sandwich out of it. Put the bones back on the plate. Ate the chicken sandwich and put a note back on the plate that says, "I don't take orders from chicken." Put it back in the fridge, and I guess she'll find it when she gets home from work. Anyway, I wanted to give y'all a GAW update while I'm at it. Got a telephone call from the Briar dude. He tells me the pipe is pretty well done, shaped out. All he's got to do is polish her up. And y'all saw the pear block, the tree that old John Wilkes Booth should have been hung out of. Let me show you that tree. Here's that tree now. .45 long Colt Winchester tampers. Gonna be 3 winners. Each of you's gonna win a tamper. One of you's gonna win a Briar Dude pipe. One of you's gonna win a corn cob pipe. And all 3 of you's gonna win one of these tampers. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tins of Dunhill now. I've got 3 pouches of Prince Albert. Let me show you something else. And 3 copies of the Purple Project, my CD. Well, my latest CD, one of my CDs. I'm going to pitch one of those in to each winner. I got 19 entries. We all been so shy for. Ole'Pops.wj@gmail.com. Go look at the pictures. Send me your guesses. 1 through 5. If you get 1 through 5, not just 1 through 5, 1 out of 1 through 5 answers. It can be number 1, number 8, number 15, number 13, and number 9. It can be any of the 15, 5 of the 15 right. It can be any of them. If you get 1 of them right, you're entered. But if you get 5 of them right, you're entered once. If you get 6 through 10 of them right, if you get up to 10 of them right, you're entered twice. If you get anywhere from 11 through 15 of them, you're entered 3 times. Y'all enter. I'm Ole'Pops.